What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Financial Freedom Builders, where every conversation moves you one decision closer to financial freedom. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe, top comment below, get you access to Freedom Builders Academy. Don't think we need to talk about that because everybody that's in there is winning. And if you want to win, you got to get into Freedom Builders Academy. But be sure to take a moment to hit the like button. Definitely helps the algorithm. YouTube, I appreciate the love. Everybody around is leveling up, and we're just trying to make sure everybody's getting access to this money because there's money going to be made. But we're going to get right into it because there's something important we got to talk about. Of course, from the last recap, last time we discussed, U.S. has invaded Iran. The war is hot and brewing. Things are happening. We don't want to see this last too long. Lives are being lost. Things are getting destroyed. There's a lot going on. We don't want this to last long at all. But as it's going on in this journey, it's starting to put pressure on the market. Just a couple days ago, we saw that the S&P 500 dipped to lower levels that it has been in months, simply because this thing is dragging on too long. Now, the president came out recently, Donald Trump, saying that this can go on for a few weeks, and sometimes wars can last forever. Of course, that's just loose lips talking there. Of course, it's not going to last forever. He can't afford for that to happen. He's in a midterm election year. So he understands there's a timeline for him to get this resolved as well, because you can't have this dragging on long enough. The other party looking to get some chairs, which is the Democratic Party, will feast on this and will take a lot of chairs in Congress if they take too long. So everybody here's on a timeline. I don't think this is going to go beyond March, but anything is possible. Now, the other thing worth noting is that we're seeing that in the SPY, ticker symbol SPY, we're seeing cracks of the stock trend going downward, and the bears seem to be pulling in harder to take over the whole market. We saw this happen just last year around this time when all the tariff talk started and everything with rumors of going on and issues with China and all these details. Around this time last year, the market was giving us indicators that it wanted to go down further. Last week, we talked in a video, I'll leave it right here, about indicators that are important with the SPY, and one was the RSI, okay? So look at the video, do your research, and see what do you see there regarding the RSI, and if we're right now on an uptrend or if we're on a downtrend. In addition to that, there's two particular indicators that came across that needs to be on your radar immediately. Number one, the VIX. We talked about the VIX in the last video as well. As this creeps up, the market volatility rises and then it starts to show cracks that it wants to pull back. The VIX is in the process of forming what is called a golden cross. So your homework today is to do research on what is the golden cross in the stock market. Normally, when it's on regular companies, people get very excited about it. The technical patterns still apply, even though we're talking about the VIX. So you need to be familiar with this term and understand how does it apply to this particular stock and what does it mean for the overall market. The second thing you need to keep your eye on regarding the VIX is that the RSI is above 50. Usually an indicator that this is actually bullish on normal stocks. So the terms and the conditions also apply for the VIX. So we need de-escalation quickly before this market decides to fully cave in. And it showed us cracks of that earlier this week. The last thing I'll keep on your mind before we go into two hot stocks I want to leave you with for sticking around this long is a few countries, their stock markets have touched what's called the circuit breaker. If you were around on this page last year, we saw circuit breakers happen in multiple countries first, and then weeks later, guess who experienced circuit breakers? The United States of America. So we're seeing semblances of what we just went through in 2025. And if you're not reading the room, you are going to get smacked in the face when the market decides to fully cave. It appears to be coming. Although this video is not financial advice and is for education and entertainment purposes only, I'm here today to tell you that in our financial community, We are getting prepared for what clearly the room is trying to tell us. However, in the midst of that, there are still opportunities that the market provides for us to be able to take advantage of. And there are two stocks that I like right now that we are currently investing into and looking at them very aggressively. Both are stocks that we've talked about here on this page. The first one is Novo Nordisk. We were in Novo Nordisk at the end of last year, 2025, getting it on the run up when they launched their first oral GLP-1. We have seen a significant pullback in Novo, but on the monthly RSI, it has touched the 200 moving average. That is a very strong floor in chart pattern analysis. So we may be seeing the beginnings of the full rebound of where Novo wants to go next. This could provide an opportunity for a very long swing or a long-term call option to consider buying. And then for long-term investors, just start accumulating shares because you might be at the floor of the room. The second company that we like and we're seeing and we've been talking about is Hims. Hims has seemed to have caught a bottom somewhere around $14 and has continued to trickle its way up and is approaching the short-term resistance of $17. What we simply want to see is Hims to get through 17 with momentum and conviction. And if it does, you can see Hims getting from $17 to $20, as high as $23 in very short order. We know this stock has the ability to get hot. This stock has been heavily shorted. The short interest is nearly almost 35%, which means once the shorts cover their positions, this stock can get on a rocket ship very quickly. So keep these two stocks on your radar. So you ask, okay, so how do we take advantage of this? How can I buy these stocks? Where do I get this information and what are my next steps? If you are lost and you need money structure and guidance, top comment below. Freedom Builders Academy is everything you will need to get yourself situated, aligned, and positioned to take advantage of what the market is about to do next. Don't get left behind. We'll talk to you on the next one.